It's the world. I'm in P World. New Jimmy High Roller. The weirdest NBA trade I've ever seen. We all know what this is, but we got to hear the GOAT Jimmy High Roller talk about it. Let's get it.
Well, it
I
happened.
do believe this is going to work.
I cannot believe
for both teams.
it actually happened. Ben Simmons is no longer with the 76ers, and just 13 months into his time with the Nets, James Harden is gone. What could have easily been the greatest big three in NBA history
Ever
has quickly become a cautionary tale for the rest of the league. And the era of the super team is coming to an end.
This is the crazy thing about this big three right here, though. There's going to be like a video or a documentary that somebody's going to make about what it could have been. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, because it's been 2 years since this duo or trio has lined up, and they only played 16 games total together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the greatest shit we never got to see happen, bro. It's crazy. I know somebody going to cover a video on this shit.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings, the official...
Let me go ahead and skip forward. Yeah.
If you told me 2 years ago that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden would all be on the same team, I wouldn't believe you.
That's what I'm saying.
I would not believe that other teams would allow this cheat code of a team to even happen.
That's what I'm
now,
saying.
if you told me that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden would all be on the same team and that they would never win a championship, I would assume that the entire league folded and ceased to exist in the middle of their title run. That would be the only logical explanation. A team this overpowered isn't even supposed to exist.
Crazy.
Nobody can compete with this. And yet, after a season and a half, non-stop rumors, and unfulfilled potential, this Nets trio is already a thing of the past.
Crazy.
With absolutely nothing to show for it. After months of constant trade rumors, the Nets and Sixers dropped a bomb on the NBA world yesterday in a trade that featured James Harden for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks.
And that's the thing, bro. Like, I feel the Sixers and shit. They, at the end of the day, they definitely got value because they had a point guard that wasn't playing at all. So they definitely needed them a point guard. And James Harden ain't no slouch, bro. But the value given up is crazy, though. Like, Seth is a decent guard. And he going to get you some threes and some, not a lot of assists, but a good amount of assists. Definitely not as many as Ben Simmons. But Drummond, you going to get some bounds when when Embiid's out. But the only thing is, like, Ben Simmons is one of the best defenders that we ever seen. You feel me? Like, especially, you know, at a guard position. He's a big-ass point guard. James Harden don't have no defense. So they lose defense. They lose two, you know, people that has the ability to be efficient whenever the starters is out. And they lost 2 first-round fucking draft picks, bro. So, like, is it really that big of a W, though? You
now,
feel me?
First things first, both teams just got better. Ben Simmons was never going to suit up for the Sixers again, so they had to find a valuable asset to trade for him. Did they give up too much for James Harden?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
With
that's
Embiid
what I'm
playing
saying.
out of his mind for the last 2 seasons, the Sixers knew they needed to go all in before they squandered away Embiid's best years. And they now have a roster that will compete with any team in the league. And the Nets just got the extra depth and defense they desperately needed while picking up 2 first-round picks in the process. This whole trade is weird because at first glance, it kind of looks like a lose-lose. A drama queen who refuses to play.
He called him a
in
drama
exchange for
queen,
a
fam.
former MVP. Potentially 5 players for 1 doesn't make a whole lot of sense
At all.
But when you get into the details, this is actually the best case scenario for both teams considering their circumstances. But for a moment, can we discuss the magnitude of this team's downfall? The fact that this trio is possibly the biggest what-if team in NBA history? Including the playoffs, the Durant, Irving, Harden trio have been on the Nets for a total of 126 games.
Right.
Out of those 126 games, all 3 stars have suited up and played together in just 16.
Damn, I damn near said everything he's saying in the fucking video, fam. Like,
Just
real
16
shit.
games out of 126. And in those 16 games, the Nets went 13-3, which means when they all played together, they won 81% of their games.
Crazy.
Of course, we rarely got to see this since this big three never played with each other for more than a few games at a time. And that, my friends, is tragic.
My bad, family. I'm
If
off that
this big
champagne
three
right
could
now.
have stayed
Gotta
healthy
pour
and
up.
put their egos to the side, they could have easily won multiple championships. Think about
About
how
to
close
celebrate.
the Nets were to beating the eventual champs last season in the Bucks with no Kyrie and a crippled James Harden. If KD wore a size 10.5 in men's shoes, they
would've
all
won.
might just be sitting on a championship together right now.
They would've
If
won.
A young, inexperienced OKC team with Westbrook, Harden, and KD is a massive what if in NBA history. What does that make this Nets trio? Because the fact is, when these three superstars played together, there wasn't a team in the entire league that could compete with them. But before you know it, this big three doesn't even exist anymore. Think about the series of events that led to this moment.
Tragic.
Ben Simmons passes up on an easy basket. Doc Rivers publicly
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
that led to
Hold
this
on.
moment. Ben
This right here
Simmons
is crazy, bro. What is this nigga, 6'9" or something wild like that? 6'8" or this some crazy shit.
passes up
This is with Trae Young in front of you, nigga. I'm bullying the fuck, bro.
an easy basket. Doc Rivers publicly doubts
That's
him in
crazy.
front of millions. Simmons is pissed and refuses to play the following season, and he's now available to trade. James Harden goes down with an injury in the playoffs, then Kyrie goes down with an injury, KD steps on the three-point line, and the Bucks win the series. The Nets have to regroup the following season, but they can't because Kyrie is sitting out every single game.
'Cause
James
of the
Harden is annoyed
vaccine,
by
fam.
this, and he wants out of Brooklyn. Kevin Durant gets injured in the middle of an MVP caliber season, and now the Nets are really in trouble, and the Sixers capitalize on this opportunity by trading one disgruntled employee for another. If Harden doesn't get hurt in last season's playoffs, if Kyrie doesn't get hurt, if Durant doesn't step on the three-point line, if Kyrie
Championships.
gets vaccinated, if Durant doesn't get injured, if Ben Simmons isn't afraid to dunk on a 6-foot-tall point guard,
Facts.
if even one of these things doesn't happen, I have a feeling this trio exists today. I bet they eventually win a ring, and the legacy of three all-time great players changes forever. In fact,
Damn, this
I
is
think
ass,
all things
bro.
considered,
Just looking
this
at it.
season and a half long
Crazy.
saga could not have gone any worse. Anything that could have went wrong. And yet, somehow, because of this specific set of circumstances, the Nets are now in a better situation after trading away a former MVP. But you want to know who's made it out better than anyone in the midst of this league-altering transaction?
Who?
The most unlucky superstar of the decade. Joel Embiid.
How's he-
Joel
he
Embiid
is
has had
unlucky.
to sit back and put up with Simmons' antics for years. Embiid has never complained. He's never turned on Ben or the organization. He just put his head down and got better and better every single season. He's had to shapeshift and mold.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. Last year, they had Embiid and the Joker, as the two people that was like MVP candidates and shit like that. And I did feel like Joker had the edge on Embiid, but this year, like, Embiid's literally the MVP, bro. Like, straight up. If Joel Embiid don't get the MVP this year, then there's some weird shit going on, bro. Because
his game around
he's
Ben
100%
since Embiid
that
is
boy.
capable of this, being
this motherfucker is damn near double every game, and he's doing 30 plus a game, bro. The only other person that's doing 30 plus a game is probably Ja Morant. And Steph was having an MVP season earlier in the year, but then he started, lagging off and shit. But
that he's the better and
I'll
more
give it to him.
versatile player of
He
the
going
two.
in.
Of course, you wouldn't know this since the Sixers front office has bent over backwards to please Ben, and the fact that just 2 seasons ago there were legitimate arguments as to who the Sixers should build their team around. But alas, here we are in 2022 with James Harden
And
on
Philly
his third
fans, they
team
love
in
Joe.
2
You
seasons.
feel me? They
The
love
Nets'
Joe
big
Embiid.
three coming and going in the blink of an eye, and Ben Simmons finally getting his way and getting out of Philadelphia.
look at him at practice.
You want to know
bro.
what's worse than a moody
Crazy.
NBA star who only plays half the time? 2 moody NBA stars who only play half the time.
Ooh,
but with
shit.
this trade completely shaking up the complexion of the East, we need to take a look at the bigger
That's
picture
fucked
here.
up.
Super teams. Ever since the Celtics created the first modern super team in 2007, the NBA has been on this massive, perpetual hunt to land the biggest stars on the same team. The hunt really caught fire once LeBron and the Heat created the Big Three in Miami. And after watching this trio go to 4 straight NBA finals, GMs and players around the league caught the super team bug. Forget chemistry, forget salary caps. Let's chase the best players and let's get them to sign with us by any means necessary.
This is funny as fuck
Even
looking.
if it destroys the future of our franchise for the next decade. And so it began. Super teams.
Yeah, Steve Nash
or
on
at
the
least
Lakers is
attempts
wild,
to create
fam.
these superstar lineups started to pop up around the league. The rich got richer, while small market teams with little to offer fell further and further behind. The gap between good teams and bad teams grew larger, and 90% of regular season games were a foregone conclusion. The playoffs were in an even worse state. The first round became a graveyard for teams who were blissfully ignorant enough to think they even had a chance.
He said
We
bye.
all just sat around waiting for the finals matchup that we saw coming before the season even began. And then just a decade after the super team era began, we met the super team of all super teams. The already insanely great Golden State Warriors signed Kevin Durant.
Crazy.
And the league pretty much conceded for the next 3 seasons.
Real villain arc.
The concept of a super team had met its inevitable peak. And the moment it did, the league almost intuitively began to shift in another direction. Out of nowhere, the Raptors with just one star player won the NBA title. The following season, the Lakers with an all-time great 1-2 punch won the championship. And last season, Giannis and the Bucks proved that a superstar with the right pieces around him can win it all. The era of the super team is coming to an end,
Facts.
with player demands reaching an all-time high, huge injuries plaguing star players now more than ever before, and organizations being held hostage at the demands of superstars. The concept of a super team has become nearly impossible to maintain. If you look at the state that the NBA
many
is
divas,
in right
bro.
now, all of the top teams have 1, maybe 2 all-star caliber players with a roster built around chemistry and skill sets and strengths and weaknesses.
Whoa, hold on. All right, let me look at this real quick. All-stars on top NBA teams. Hold on. All right, so Miami, we not going to sit here and stunt like Kyle Lowry's not an all-star for Miami. And also, you can start throwing Bam in there too, because Bam's an all-star. Suns, I think we can start putting Ayton in the mix. So that's 3 on each of them teams. The Bulls, shit. Vujacic is damn near going crazy. But I will say, like, Levine and DeRozan is definitely the 2 all-stars for sure. He put still the anomaly by the Warriors. But Klay's back, too, for the Warriors, so they got to put Klay in the picture. Ja is definitely the only all-star. And I'm rooting for the Grizzlies for sure. The Cavaliers, they got to put Jarrett Allen in the mix because he's going crazy. And they got to put Sexton because or he got traded. I don't know what the fuck. With the Bucks, that's perfect right there. You know what I'm saying? The Jazz, that's perfect. Mavericks, definitely true because they just got rid of Porzingis. Sixers, that's the true movement. Toronto, why is it just Van Fleet in that picture alone? Jimmy Harreller's tripping. Pascal Siakam is going crazy, bro. He just dropped 30 the other night. And then Denver, I don't know, Denver, Jamal Murray. So, I don't know. It's a lot of, I don't know. I don't think the whole, like, Big 3 and Big 2 shit, that's not really going out the window.
And longevity. I think after seeing countless teams chase big names only to implode and tank the next 5 years of their franchise in the process with absolutely nothing to show for it, organizations have changed the blueprints for building and nurturing a successful team. The downfall of the Nets' Big 3 could be the nail in the super team coffin. 6 years ago, the Golden State Warriors set the golden standard, but that team was an anomaly. 4 stars
was already ready
to play their role and not fuss and complain about it. Every single player doing whatever it takes to.
And look, this team would have still been doing their thing if Draymond didn't yell at KD, bro. The day Draymond start yelling and bitching at him, that's when it was over, bro.
To win, we will never see another team like that. The Raptors didn't win their championship this way, neither did the Lakers, and neither did the Bucks. And I think the demise of this Nets Big 3 might just be the demise of the super team in the NBA. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Make sure y'all holler at me in the comments, man. A lot of big facts in this video, man. I really don't know if that net shit's going to work out unless Ben Simmons get his fucking head right. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, big W for the Sixers. You know what I'm saying? Only time will tell. Holler at me in the comments. Until next time, it's the world.